happened, oh goodness, I don't know. I want to say maybe 15 years ago. I know it's another old story. I've got new stories. I've got recent stories too. Okay, but I'm just going through my testimonies. So when explaining how to hear from God, this is a testimony that I often will share, just as an example. So I was at a rough side of town with my mom and my ex. It was just a nice day, and I was looking kind of in one direction, just not really observing my surroundings too much. And the thought came to me, and it was just a really strong thought. Someone is about to try and steal your purse. And I just thought, what? Like, I heard this. And then I kind of nonchalantly, and when things like that happen, or if I hear something kind of at a distance away, that I'm not supposed to hear, or something like that, I act like I don't really notice it, because I've been in situations where it could have gotten really hostile if they knew that I heard. But anyway, that's a different topic altogether. But so I started kind of nonchalantly observing my surroundings, and I glanced back, and I saw a guy from a distance walking really, really fast with his arm out, and his eyes were fixed on my purse. He was walking in my direction, like walking super fast, arms stretched out, and I knew, okay, he's staring, his eyes are fixed on my purse. He's probably thinking,
I love you.
I love you too, baby.
I want you to hug a kiss.
I knew.
I love your shirt.
I love you too, honey. I love you.
And I just got your next thing too. I always want to have one. I like it.
Oh, honey, you're sweet. I knew that what I heard was legit. Somebody was about to try and steal my purse. This was like, it was a young white guy. I'm just saying. Avery Grace, honey, don't be too loud. And I was startled. He was about maybe 30 feet from me, but walking super fast. And my, gut reaction was cover my purse somehow. I don't think I had any money whatsoever. I just had, my ID and an inhaler, in my purse. But I think he was going to try and just, yank it off of me and take off running. I'm sure. I've never been robbed like that before, but I could tell that's what this guy was about to do. So I kind of, again, nonchalantly put my arm, the arm that had the purse, around who's now my ex at the time. I'm sorry, who's now my ex, but was my husband at the time. I put my arm around him, just kind of acting like, yeah, I'm just giving him a hug. And I was thinking, okay, so if this guy is going to try and steal my purse, and he's going to have to get through both of us. I know, I dragged you into it. And I just felt like that was the best thing for me to do, because what are the chances that this guy is really going to proceed with stealing my purse, or attempting to steal my purse, if it's in between two, you know what I'm saying? And so after I put my arm around my then husband, very shortly after that, I saw the guy walk by. His arm wasn't out, and he was just walking past me. And I thought, whew, he was going to try and steal my purse. And again, I don't know if it was.
Well, what's that sound?
That was I don't know, somebody's car.
Yeah.
I don't know
it's something
that it was.
Again.
I believe it was the Holy Spirit, but maybe it was an angel. But either way,
somebody cars again. Beeped.
There's a lot of people in this neighborhood, honey. A lot of cars in the parking lot. So I was so glad.
I love you.
I love you too, baby. I was so glad that I got that prompting from God, whether it was through His Holy Spirit or through an angel. Regardless, it was of God that I was notified quickly that I was about to be robbed. And very relieved that this guy just continued walking. And unfortunately, maybe he did end up robbing somebody else. I don't know, but I was scared at first, and then, what I did, and then I was like, oh, it worked, okay. But I was not even facing that direction to even know. Like, it wasn't like I was just standing there and happened to notice across the way somebody walking toward me like that. I literally had to turn my body around to even notice. So that was definitely God speaking to me to warn me that this was just about to happen and, like, take action now. You know what I mean? So I'm very appreciative of times like that. Maybe you've had experiences like that too, and it doesn't have to be with getting robbed or something, but like getting a strong feeling, for example, that you should call somebody. Like, somebody just kind of pops into your head and you're thinking, I'm going to call him. Or, I better go. I think I'm just going to call her and just see how she's doing. And then they answer and they're just like, oh my goodness, you called me at the exact perfect time. I seriously needed to talk to you, or I need to talk to somebody. And you know what I mean? Like, or not going out at a certain time. I've heard people say that. That they were going to go out, or even they are out, they're on the road, and something tells them, take a turn this way, take a detour, don't go the normal direction, and they find out they missed a serious accident. You know what I mean? Even on 9/11, there were a lot of stories about, people who didn't go to work that day. And I heard a story about one guy who missed the whole thing because his little girl asked him for a particular sandwich from a fast food place that morning. And he decided, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and get her that sandwich, and it might have saved his life because he didn't go that day. So it's a big deal to be able to hear from God. And it's not like this booming voice from heaven. It can be something as simple, and it often is something as simple as a thought. And when you realize that your response to something was the right answer, the right thing to do, and you find out, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I obeyed it, or whatever it is. I'm so glad I did this. Like, what if you hadn't, okay, like, if I had just shrugged that off, well, someone's about to steal my purse, and just kind of shrugged it off, well, the guy would have snatched my purse. He would have been disappointed because, like I said, I think all I had was my ID. I wouldn't have wanted to lose my ID, but I didn't have any money.
I want to invite you on my computer.
I see. And so anyway, yeah, that I always tell people that when I say, well, what does God sound like? You say you hear from God. There's different ways, okay, that God speaks to you, but I think the biggest way, at least from my experience, the biggest way is just in the form of like an uncontrolled thought. It's like somebody speaking into your mind, even giving you information and telling you things that you didn't know before. And, even just taking notes on it, like, whoa, like, I've heard people call it a download from God. God's just giving me all this information, or even ideas, where you're just thinking, this is the exact answer I needed, and it came to me. And I think we need to make sure that we give praise and honor to God when He's answered us that way, or when He's protected us that way. Like I said, a lot of people, I think, have avoided accidents, or have been that person to reach out to somebody just because they had the thought that they should call them. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cool. So that's that happened. That was a story I wanted to share with you, and just a little example of how God talks to us and why we should kind of pay attention to those things, because it could save our lives. It could keep us from being robbed or attacked in other ways. So, yeah. All right, God bless you guys.